Hi, this is Sandy. Welcome back and welcome to a new series called Move to Meditate, using the body to go beyond the body. Today, I will properly introduce the practices by giving you some personal background that forms the context for this series. So, first, the title. I decided to do this series separate from Meditation Station because the emphasis is on working with the body. As a result of that, your meditation will be more pointed and profound, but you could just as well turn to this series as a way to adjust mentally or emotionally without entering meditation. Regardless of your aim, the move to meditate practices highlight that the physical body is not only our container and instrument of locomotion, but a means through which we can achieve a different state of being. Please know that I am in no way saying that physical limitations need curtail anyone's ability to affect change, be it a mood boost or achieving a state of higher consciousness. I myself have been through a 2-year period during which my ability to move was severely limited. Perhaps not surprisingly, it was during this period where I not only needed prayer and meditation more than ever, but I was able to delve in despite my debilitation. Certainly, there are a variety of ways to work with our subtle energy systems, thus enhancing one's spirituality. For example, the use of sound, such as singing bowls or solfeggio frequencies. Highly focused visualization of a movement can also activate neurological circuitry, as can visualizing trajectories of movement through our subtle energy systems, such as the meridians or chakras. Of course, the use of mudras and pranayama or breathing techniques are potent tools in the quest to transform mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. So, regardless of physical ability, I encourage you to explore the series and use what does work for and resonate with you. So, back to it. The idea that we can transcend the physical despite our human body and material world came to me before I even knew how to identify what was happening. As a toddler and preschooler, I experienced situations to which my young mind responded by dissociating. This was my first experience of what I think of as floating above. After these events were put to a stop, life went on, and I continued to be an active, bright, imaginative child, and later a decent athlete and successful student. But throughout these growing up years, my quote unquote secret self always felt more in touch with what I could not see than the daily and material world that we tend to call real life. Around the age of 14, led by intuition and curiosity, I began to explore astrology and numerology and tarot and dream work. All of these suggested to me that there are any number of ways to frame and explain at least some of what I and billions of others throughout history think, feel, and experience beyond what we can see or, in some cases, scientifically prove. Eventually, I found my way to yoga in my late 20s or early 30s. I feel extraordinarily fortunate to have become acquainted with Paramahansa Yogananda's Self-Realization Fellowship. The teachings of the SRF spoke my language quite literally, Paramahansa's lessons were steeped in words and concepts that had hummed within me for as long as I could remember, but for which I had no language or framework. Cut to age 40, and I became a massage therapist. It's no wonder that during my education, I gravitated toward the natural and metaphysical concepts of traditional Chinese medicine. In this discipline, the body as vessel takes on even greater significance. TCM underscores less the flesh and bone and more the invisible energetic channels of meridians and chi points. Again, a way in through the body to energies both within and beyond the body. So there I was, situated contentedly in my particular understanding of life with a capital L. Most significantly, I was learning to accept that while I must exist in this ephemeral illusion of the material world, I, like anyone else, could nonetheless explore and connect to other realms. And then, of course, as does happen in this thing called life, additional challenges arose, those that threw the unpredictable nature of human existence into sharp relief. Both of my parents were stricken with dementia, albeit about 10 years apart. First my father, and then my mother. What has rocked my boat a bit since their passing is less their physical absence than the feeling of being unmoored. When one takes on the mantle of now top generation in the family tree, the reality of physical mortality becomes visceral. This is the last phase of earthly life for me, my siblings, and cousins. It's a strange feeling, to say the least. Oddly, however, when I am able to get over my emotional earthly self, I ultimately feel a deeper sense of peace with regard to the aforementioned mortality. Because I do experience the presence of my parents in various intangible ways, I am not frightened by the prospect of passing from this world. If anything, their physical deaths have only underscored what I've always believed, that our soul vibration is eternal. Regardless of the lifetime we are in, the aim is to safeguard and develop that essence by way of using what we do have at our disposal. In our earth incarnations, that means mind, body, spirit. And very recently, this deepening calm has only been strengthened. Early on in my pondering of this very series, I thought of my mother's affinity for Christian Science during her 40s. I began to delve a bit deeper into this religious and spiritual way of thinking, only to recognize a striking similarity to the philosophies of Paramahansa Yogananda. Turns out that Mary Baker Eddy, the founder of Christian Science, had a strong pull toward Hinduism, in particular the Bhagavad Gita. Why I was so surprised seems almost naive. All religions and all spiritual philosophies as conceived by humans inherently are filtered through something prior. We frame and edit and reconceive and add to that which stands. And those thoughts that at one point are deemed too wild for human belief often resurface decades, even centuries later, to become the crux of a popular movement, yoga and meditation being prime examples. So here I sit, once again being hit over the head by the idea of the human body and material world as utterly distinct from our true identities as eternal spiritual essence. Only this time, It is Mary Baker Eddy who has reminded me, and that my own mother shared and perhaps subconsciously passed down a need to explore and elevate one's spiritual self has restored my sense of that comforting anchor that has been missing since my mom's death. So there you have it, the background and context through which I share this new series with you. So, as you move your physical body in specific ways, you also will be learning to experience the movement itself in a way that transcends the physical body. And that ability and awareness is what will allow you to more readily connect to universal and divine wisdom. Thank you for listening. Until next time, bye.